Well, yeah, I'm right. Welcome everyone to the 5th annual Fairfield StartUp Showcase. I'm Don Gibson, Dean of the Dolan School of Business. And when I'm not doing that, emceeing game shows, that sort of thing, and that's the side of me you'll see tonight, hopefully. We're really happy you're here tonight. We have changed it up a bit. Those of you who have been coming to our competition tonight, it's a bit of a mashup between Shark Tank, American Idol, and if the battle gets going, Worldwide Wrestling Mania or something. It could get active up here. But I think you'll agree with me that what this world needs, what business needs, what government needs, what society needs, are good ideas. And tonight's a forum of ideas from young students up and coming, students who have some great ideas for starting new businesses. So what's exciting for me as dean, and I hope exciting for you, is to see exactly what they come up with. The stakes are high, my friends. These students are asking for valuations of their companies, something over $500,000. They are coming from the School of Business, they're coming from engineering, they're coming from arts and sciences, but what brings them all together is this belief and this idea of entrepreneurship, that we can really change the world one company at a time. You should know that this competition is part of the Fairfield University and Dolan School of Business entrepreneurship program. So it includes this competition. It also includes an entrepreneur in residence program, and you're about to meet him in a couple of moments. It also includes the Fairfield University Entrepreneurship Labs, which is our in-town accelerator in the town of Fairfield, a cooperative venture with the town of Fairfield and Cleban Properties that has really been an exciting place to take these companies after we develop them here and take them out into the business community. So you should know these students have been working hard since September. They came up with ideas in September, and then we helped to develop them in the business model. We had a business model workshop and then an elevator pitch competition, and then all the way through February, where they had advisors and mentors work with them. And then they recently, about a month ago, went through qualifiers. There were 12 teams competing, and judges reduced it to the 5 you're going to see tonight. So let's give an initial round of applause for our student participants. Thank you, and you'll see much more of them. Before we do start the show, I would like to recognize our 2015-16 Entrepreneur in Residence. Chris Hamer, are you out there? There he is, standing up, waving. Chris is an experienced digital executive and entrepreneur, and this fall he worked with one of our professors, Carl Shiraga, in his technology ventures class, and threw a couple of ideas to the students. He had a couple of ideas, one's called Commune Alert and one's called Incubate You. He threw them out to the students, and then the students during class developed those ideas. It had the academic foundation, but you add on that a real live case of developing a business. To me, that's the reality. That's what business school ought to be, and I think it's a great example of that. And after class ended in the fall, 12 students continued as interns at Fuel, at our accelerator, to keep those companies developing. So I really think that progression has been fantastic this year, and Chris Hamer, nice work. Chris is also the founder and CEO of Crowdflick, which is a mobile platform for synchronizing multiple video feeds. And as a bonus tonight, we put out a call to high school entrepreneurship clubs, and we said, do a pitch. If you're Crowdflick, which is the name of Chris Hamer's company, and you're seeking $2 million in funding, how would you pitch the company? And so tonight, I'm pleased to present the winning pitch from high school teams. It came from Fairfield Prep. No favoritism there. That's how it worked out. We're an ethical business leaders for a global future. And now let's show the video, Fairfield Prep.
Hi, my name is Kevin Gallagher.
And my name is John Limbo.
And we are presenting Crowdflick. Crowdflick is the revolutionary, patented, crowdsourced mobile video platform that uniquely enables the sharing of synchronized video.
Crowdflick is a new service where people at a sports game, concert, wedding, or just hanging out can upload a video via our app so that all the videos can be stitched together and automatically edited to create professional-grade footage using all the unique camera angles. This means you don't have to hunt down footage from the same event or time sync it, one of the most tedious parts of video editing.
The versatility of our app's usage means that anyone, from a journalist to my grandmother, they can both use the app to create better content faster.
What makes us destined for success is our validated business model. We generate revenue from 3 different sources, from licensing our advanced patents and technology to other companies, working with companies to create sponsored branded content to enhance fans' experience at events, and offering premium subscription products with pay-per-use services.
Our CEO, Chris Hamer, summed up one of the many uses for our service. He said, and I quote, "When the lights go down at the end of an event, that continuity of sponsorship ends." With Crowdflick, however, brands can pre-name an event tag in the app. Eventually, users will be able to find out more information about a sponsor, performer, or venue through events on Crowdflick, allowing promoters to increase engagement with fans and consumers in a novel but unobtrusive way.
We are selling a 35% stake in the company for $2 million. So far, we have raised $1 million, and we will use the funds raised to develop Crowdflick's team to scale our business. Crowdflick is a sound company, and we are seeking funds so we can get the ball rolling. Don't miss out on the future of digital technology and capitalizing on the future of 18 billion mobile devices by 2020. Thank you.
All right, that is the winning pitch. And I'd like to call Kevin Gallagher to the stage to accept an award for that winning pitch. Kevin, are you here? Kevin going once. Kevin going twice. Is this Kevin coming in? Excellent. And Fred's with him. All right, congratulations, you guys. Here we go. And remember, come to Fairfield when you're done with Fairfield Prep. You'll also receive $500 for your entrepreneurship club. So congratulations. Thank you. Kevin Gallagher and Fred Rio. All right, it is now time to introduce you to our showcase investors. So tonight, students will make their pitch from here. Investors will view those pitches and then make judgments. Our first investor is Andrew McMahon, class of 1989. Andrew is CEO and founder of Vitae Analytics Incorporated, a big data analytics startup, and was previously president of AXA US and a partner with McKinsey and Company. Please welcome Andrew.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mary Campbell, class of 1972 with a master's degree. Mary is a managing director and founder of EDF Ventures, an Ann Arbor, Michigan-based venture capital firm. Round of applause for Mary. And it's pretty great because the lighting is such that they can't see you. So if you're making faces or you're just having fun out, they will not know. Our third investor is Michael Anderson, class of 92 and 03. Michael is head of sales for Toluna North America. Prior to joining Toluna, Michael was a trader with both Bank of America and Quick and Riley. Thank you, Michael. Shoki Kaldawi, class of 94. Shoki is the owner and president of Mondial Automotive Incorporated, a full-line remanufacturer and distributor of specialty parts for on- and off-road diesel engines, and a specialist in green technologies. Thank you, Shoki. Lynn Ann Casey, class of 90. Lynn is founder and CEO of Arc Aspicio, a management consulting and information technology company focused on homeland security and intelligence. Thank you, Lynn Ann. And I've got my little microphone in my ear, so I feel a little homeland security myself right up here. Michael Garvey, class of 89, a former police officer. Michael found License Monitor Incorporated, a provider of proactive license monitoring and risk management services, and currently serves as managing director. He's an active investor and entrepreneur. Welcome, Michael. And many of our investors have been judges on this panel before, and I think Michael has been here every single time, along with Mary Campbell. I'd also like to introduce our legal advisor, Dan Fitzgerald. Dan, you want to raise your hand? Dan's an associate at the law firm of Brody Wilkinson in Southport, Connecticut. He'll answer any legal questions and record the terms of agreement. Now, it's interesting, when I introduced Dan, I was given small writing to put after that, so I don't know how that works, but it should be noted that Dan is not providing legal advice for the purposes of team presentations, and he's not acting as counsel to the student groups or investors. All right, welcome, Dan. We will keep the lawyer jokes to a minimum. It just won't happen on this stage. Okay. So the investors have had a chance to look at some of the materials that the teams sent them. The investors are looking for good ideas, right? Good concepts, value proposition, and really viability of this business. Do we really think this business is viable? And can these people carry it out? So those are the key elements. So the teams will pitch for 5 minutes. Then following the pitch, there will be discussion among investors. I will attempt to keep time on them. They get about 6 minutes of questions, and then we want to hear if they have a deal or no deal after that. One of the options may be that teams could be chosen to go to the Fairfield University Entrepreneurial Labs. That may be an option, the Summer Fellows Program, to help them develop their businesses further. I would also like to introduce our student correspondents, Alex Booth and Sarah Farley. You may have seen them earlier. Alex, are you, let's see, we might be able to, oh, there they are. They will be interviewing teams in the lobby following their exit from here. This is the American Idol part, and it's something I love. All right, now those of you, I know there's some young people in the audience and a full range of ages. We're going to do something called text to vote. So if you have a cell phone, it'd be great to take that out now. And all you need to do to text to vote is you text StartUp, S-T-A-R-T-U-P, StartUp, and you text that to the number, you ready? 22333. Do I have it up on the, we may. All right, so to join text to vote, and you're gonna vote on the team. So if you could try this out, you text StartUp to 22333. And just like in American Idol, standard message and data rates apply. All right, now at the end of the 5 presentations, then you all are going to choose our audience favorite. Okay, now I don't want to see you guys texting to vote or anything. Did Michael, really? Oh, wow, okay, it's already in, just for me. Okay. All right, so I think we have the ideas. The pitches are about to begin, but I have a little more small print writing I've been told I need to read. All right, so this is an authentic educational exercise that we expect to lead to the founding of real companies, hopefully in the state of Connecticut. The teams are students with business proposals, but they have not yet incorporated. They're not yet incorporated entities that can take equity investments. The investor panelists are making pledges, not entering into legally binding agreements, though they may state conditions under which they would be willing to invest. And the teams will get a chance to repitch if they continue on in the Fuel Summer Fellows program. All right, so now I think we have enough small print. We are ready to present. Let's take a look at a video of team number 1.
My company is on the forefront of the sales gamification industry and is going to turn procrastination into productivity and develop camaraderie on sales floors all over the United States. Tonight I'm seeking investment that will allow me to complete the entire development process of this app and bring it to the customers that we have currently engaged with. My goal is to build a successful company with a great culture that is great to its clients and something that I can be in charge of and have passion about for the rest of my life. I've always had a passion for entrepreneurship, just keeping my mind on different ideas, and something about it just really excites me. I'm Thomas Caselli, and you will not regret investing in my company.
All right, we welcome to the stage Draft Sales. Draft Sales is led by Thomas Caselli, who you just met, and the team mentors are Mark Sellinger and Dan Lateo. So come on up, Thomas.
Good evening, my name is Thomas Caselli, and I'm seeking a $40,000 investment in my company, Draft Sales. Draft Sales is a sales gamification enterprise cloud application that turns everything a salesperson does into a competitive fantasy game. So I came up with this idea through working my 2 sales internships and really getting familiar with the grind of cold call. I'm making hundreds of sales calls a day, and I was getting hung up on over 90% of the time. Now I don't care who you are, how self-motivated you are, you're naturally going to hit that breaking point. Some people go on Facebook, some people go get coffee. What I and 70% of my sales floor would do is we would play fantasy sports. We'd talk about the players, compete with each other. You know, it wasn't productive for our managers, it wasn't productive for the company, but I mean, it got us through the day. So Draft Sales turns that procrastination into increased productivity. So now we aren't wasting time talking about how Tom Brady's going to do on Sunday. Now I'm concerned more about how I'm going to do as a salesperson and even the person next to me. You know, hey, I drafted you this week. Could you make some more calls for me at 5:30? I need those points. Not only building camaraderie on the sales floor, but increasing productivity as a whole. So here's how it works. It's a software as a service that's integrated with CRM platforms that salespeople use. So everything I do on the phone throughout the day is turned into fantasy points in real time. How many deals I close, how many dials I make, all of those things turned into fantasy points in real time through CRM integration. And it looks and feels just like a fantasy sports website. So I'd have my profile, I'd have my name, you know, my height, like I'm the player. You can see how I've done in past events. People can scout me before they draft me. Here's a video, here's an image of what it would look like when I'm drafting a team. So I could go in and, you know, look at the stats of other people. I could view their profiles before inserting them into my lineup. And then here's a head-to-head game view, so I could, you know, see how the other person does, how their roster is, how many points I need to catch them, things like that. Just a way of gamifying all the numbers that you have throughout the day. So there is competition. Fantasy sales teams started as an independent CRM website. They were integrated, all the same things that we were doing, except they were acquired by Microsoft in August 2015, and now they're being built for Microsoft Dynamics, their CRM platform. I don't know if you can see these images here. Their UI, they animate the salesperson. They make, you know, you can be a pitcher, a quarterback, all these different things. We don't want anything to do with that. We look and feel just like the fantasy sports websites that people are using now. We just substitute athletes with salespeople and stats with sales metrics. And so here's just to paint a picture of the market and competition. Salesforce, obviously an industry leader. Microsoft isn't quite there yet. Gamification of sales is a new concept, and I believe Microsoft, you know, saw that happening. They acquired the first person to do it because I believe they wanted to send a message to the top, and I think we'd be an appealing acquisition to the leaders in the industry within 1 to 2 years of launching. And the best news is we already have a customer. We have a $64,000 agreement with Cloud Sales on Rails in Woburn, Massachusetts. They currently pay over $2,000 per user per year for Salesforce apps that are steered towards productivity, and they valued ours at $25 to $50 per user per month. Considering they're our first customer and they're being transparent through beta phases, we're going to give it to them for $25. So here are some more terms of that agreement. We would develop the app over the summer. We'd launch the minimum viable product in October. We would, you know, it'd be completely free for them. We'd launch a pilot with them with our working first version in Q1. They'd pay for that for 90 business development reps. And then we'd launch the full product in Q2, valuing our deal at $64,000 towards the end of the year. This represents 1 customer. My goal is to have 5 by the end of year 1. And so the plan for the $40,000 investment from you here tonight We'll go from developing the minimum viable product throughout the summer so we can launch the beta test and just really test this out with Cloud Sales on Rails and prove the concept in the fall. And then we begin, funding and looking for additional funds to launch the working first version product for the pilot. And this is just to paint a picture of the gamification of sales industry. Some of you may be sitting there saying, I have no idea what gamification of sales is. And I would say that's a great thing because in 2-4 years, you will know exactly what it is. This is something that's very new. There's really only a couple companies that have done it, and companies are about to start pouring money into it. We could be one of the first to do this. So I want to thank you for your time and answer any questions you may have. Let's bring energy back to sales floors everywhere. Thank you.
All right, draft sales. We turn it over to our investor panel.
Is this working?
It is.
So Thomas, I want to compliment you on your passion, your boundless energy, and you're bringing ideas to life. So congratulations on that, first and foremost. My first question would be, why just a one-man show?
Right, as of now, so I came up with this idea. I was actually working with a developer that I live with throughout the summer. He was starting to build it over the summer, and it just became too much for one guy to handle. We don't go to the same school. It didn't work out. So I entered the competition. I said, I'm really going to do this right. And as a salesperson, obviously I need a development team, which I have found. So I have Cometa Works, who's going to build this out over the summer. They gave me the quote. They're ready to go. We have the customer side of it and the development side of it. And I have a great team here of people behind me. I have family members who are sales executives at Fortune 500 companies. I have Westover Strategic Advisors, all of these people helping me to grow this. So pending how tonight goes, this will not be a one-man show. Starting tomorrow, we will incorporate, and I'll begin to put the pieces in place to get a team, the right team.
So you bring up some of the support system. Can you comment a little bit more and expound a little bit more on the letter of intent that you just described and how you were able to get that? I noticed that you were an intern there. And with no product, kind of a proof of concept that's out there with a competitor that was acquired by Microsoft, you don't have a product right now, so how did you get a letter of intent?
So I have a great connection with this company. I interned there. I know everybody there. And I went in and pitched it to the CEO just out of passion. I said, look, this is what you're doing now. I think I see something here. This is a great idea. CEO loved it. We pulled some sales guys at the company. They absolutely loved it. And that's when I really believed that, this could be something. And they have a sense of pride for me, which is, I don't know if you're saying, why aren't they using Fantasy Sales Team, the competitor or something now? But they have a passion to see me, make this happen so they can use it at the company, which is where the relationship comes, the letter of intent, all those things. It's a very transparent relationship that I have with that company.
Is there a relationship at the top that you have that helps you in that endeavor?
Yes, I have a family member. My father is an executive at that company.
Okay, fair enough. Did you want to ask a question?
I have a quick question. Tom, do you have any information? First of all, great presentation. I think you're onto something. I don't think it's, there's nothing protectable here. It's basically your idea, but there's no moat per se, protected-wise, because the prior company that got acquired was similar, correct?
Yes. So are you saying, is there going to be a legal thing with Fantasy Sales?
Well, is there any kind of protection that you have for investors on your concept? I'm not seeing it. I'm just wondering if there is one.
No.
Okay. Do you have any details or any facts or anything that was available on the acquisition from Microsoft?
I do not. It was all undisclosed information. They didn't release it. From people that I've talked to who have dealt with acquisitions with Microsoft say they don't do anything under $15 million,
right,
which I believe would be an accurate assumption.
And the one that got acquired is solely being integrated into the Microsoft family, and it won't be available on the other platforms. So your play, I'm guessing, would be to tie into the other platforms.
Yes. So we are going to be. They started as an external site. They could integrate to anybody, which is exactly what we're going to try to do. And most businesses in Salesforce,
as try to do, or are you going to do it?
We're going to do that.
All right, good.
So we're going to integrate with all of them.
Now we're
talking. And then Microsoft, bought them, took the license for them, so they could use it in their cloud app store, which is how it really is working. All these companies build external sites, and then Salesforce, Oracle, they look at it and they say, we want you exclusively in our app store, which is obviously what Microsoft did and what we hope Oracle, SAP, Salesforce will do for us.
I'm not a fantasy sports person, but I'm definitely a salesperson at heart. I'm an entrepreneur, so I had to, sell my own first services in my consulting firm. Tell me how you're going to appeal to women who are salespeople. How does this platform cater to women?
Yeah, so this is actually an advantage that we have over fantasy sales team. They make it strictly about football or baseball or all these sports. We have nothing to do with that. So we basically have the concept of fantasy sports where it lists people in a lineup, you can draft people, but the sports aspect of it ends there. It's not touchdowns or anything like that. It's simply how you do on the phone, and it's a fun way to see how you're doing against other people. That's really all it is. It has nothing to do with sports. It's just taking the fantasy sports concept.
Have you thought about kind of creating a platform so that it could be customized to different types of sports, or to more of how the user likes to look at, their fantasy sports, their favorite sports? It could be NASCAR, it could be something else. Yeah, no, I have not thought about that. I actually did away with that. As you can see those images, that's what fantasy sales team does. And I don't believe that is an effective way to gain users. So,
all right, Tom, can you say one more time what you're asking for over here?
$40,000 for 10% of the company.
All right, investors, what do you think about this?
I got one more question.
Okay.
How do you get
Take command, Michael. Don't let me railroad you. Don't let that happen.
Look, I like the idea, and frankly, last summer, fantasy sales team approached my company, and we were interested. So, but how do you get the second sale? You got the first sale, right? You got the first sale, and I thank you for being honest that your dad helped you in that, and that's great. Family and friends start that way. How do you get your second, third, fourth, fifth sale?
Well, I think I just really have a great sales background. Prospecting, I know all the companies in the Boston area at least who do these things. I have other family members who work for inside sales teams, have inside sales teams under them who have shown that they would absolutely use this if it got developed. So I honestly believe, just based off connection, I think I could get 5 customers before having to do outbound sales. But once it came to that point, I believe proof of concept would appeal to the customer just in a standard sales way.
Thomas, just real quick, and I know we're time sensitive. How many employees do you think you would need at the end of year 1 to support cloud sales on Rails, and then for you to get to your 5 customers? How many employees do you think you're going to need to retain besides yourself?
I think I'll need CometaWorks and about 10 developers. I think that will be a significant team that can roll out additional versions, additional features, things like that. And obviously somebody who can be a chief technology officer so they can oversee that, and maybe 2 other sales positions.
I'm sorry, you're talking about hiring 10 developers or using an outsourced Cometa?
No, they have, I think it's 10 to 15 as CometaWorks developers.
Okay.
Yeah. So
don't go hire 10 people out.
Oh, no. The CometaWorks team, I think we can they said, that we can do versions and really work hand in hand for a long time. And obviously I'd need additional sales positions to help, and finance and things like that.
Have you approached CometaWorks about taking a piece of equity in addition to actual cold hard cash, or are they just working on cash?
They want cash. That's really how they do things. They said, sometimes it gets messy, just things they've done in the past. So.
All right, investors, what are you thinking over here? Michael, you're scratching your...
I need another half hour.
Yeah, I did.
What? You get 6 minutes.
Needs another half hour.
Can people stay till like 11 o'clock?
Let me just make one comment.
Yeah.
Right, so I think, Thomas, I think great job on the presentation and the idea. I think the idea has lots of merit and uses for it amongst lots of potential sales teams. So I think the whole gamification idea and the application has lots of merit and can, in fact, be picked up. I think there's a lot of questions that we probably have that we've been noodling through, some of them, and only have a short period of time, that regarding the technology interfacing with the enterprise systems, regarding the organization and how big and how fast to roll it out, how much draw money would cost to do this, and I noticed the 15, and then here it says 15,000, now you asked for 40,000, it's probably a typo, I know, but I know some of the numbers have changed over the last 3 days after we saw some presentations. So, my view is, I think it's got merit. I think it's got some legs there. I'm personally a bit uncomfortable at this time to make a commitment to an investment without further due diligence. Maybe it needs a little bit more work over the summer. Maybe some questions we could provide and mentor. But I'll leave it up to everybody else as well.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head, Andrew. I think, again, great idea. I believe in it. You could become our second customer, maybe, or I could become your second customer. I mean, I'll tell you what, I'll make you an offer. No.
There's another one.
Your evaluation just went up. You have 2 customers now.
Get 2 customers.
That's right.
I heard something
factor
about
that in real quick.
I heard something about an offer.
No, I'll throw an offer out there. I think I'd want some other alumni investors' input to sponsor you for the fuel for the incubator. We'd sponsor you. That does cost a lot of money.
I'll join you.
Okay, cool.
But one of the things I'd want, and I'm not 100% on the terms, but I want to understand the competitive landscape. I'd want to know how many other people. Look, once Microsoft takes out somebody, there's maybe not as talented or passionate as you, but there's a lot of others out there that are saying, hey, listen, let's develop this for other apps. I'd want to, for other CRMs. I'd want to know the competitive landscape. I want to know who else is out there and who's been funded. Okay.
So, and to incent, I'd ask him, maybe I think I'd be remiss if I didn't ask for some piece of equity. So for that 5% equity, you're in fuel, sponsor for the summer, you have access to all of us, you have access to all of our networks, potentially additional capital, and then my goal would be, come September, you've got more legs under you, and hell, you're not asking for 40,000, you're asking for 400,000 or 100,000 for a different equity stake. So that's my offer.
Okay. So 5% for mentorship and the fuel incubator.
Yeah. You want to split? You want to divide up the cost of the incubator, or how do you want to do that? Because I'm interested. I like it.
I would go in with you as well.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
What is the?
I'd be in. I don't even.
I'm in. Anybody else want in?
I'm out.
Okay.
Could I just interrupt real quick? Sorry. So you said the cost of the incubator. I'm just wondering, is this?
Yeah, I'm asking the cost of the incubator. There's a cost to get in. That's what we're offering to pay, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
We sponsor that for you.
Whatever it is, divide it up.
It's under $1 million, Mike. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
That's right. Just slightly.
If it's even close to that, I'll do it myself for you. Yeah, I'd go with that.
So.
All right, Thomas, you have an offer on the table.
You got 4.
I'm in.
So this would be sponsoring to be in the incubator, alumni, mentorship, leading towards a launch. And would there be cash involved in this at the incubator, paying developers and things like, is that the sponsorship?
Contingent on, I think, the end of the summer, seeing some benchmarks that we can talk offline about what we want you to do within the product and marketing and other things that we didn't really have time to talk about.
Okay, great. Yep. Yeah, I'll accept. Thank you.
All right.
He's in. All right. Nice work, Thomas.
Good job. Hey, great job.
Okay, good job.
All right. We are. Make sure you get plugged back in over there. You are now off cable, man. We don't know who you are. All right. We are ready for team 2. Run the video. Thanks, Thomas. Oh, sorry, interview. I forgot the interview. Okay, now what's going to happen is Thomas is going to head for the interview in the lobby, okay? And what the audience is going to do is try out the text to vote, okay? So are you ready for this? Remember, text StartUp to 22333. All right, here's your text to vote question, and it is, how often do you shop online or play fantasy sports while on the job or in class? That's right, and students, this will be fully anonymous. I mean, I won't know. All right, so how often do you shop online or play fantasy sports while on the job or in class? A, every day. B, 3 or more times a month. Or C, never. Okay, A, every day. B, 3 or more times a month. Or C, never. All right, let's take you now. Oh, you guys are, hey, somebody's working on text to vote. Nice work. All right, we now take you to the lobby.
We're here with draft sales team, Mark Salinger and Tom Casale. So how do you guys feel tonight went?
Feel great. I think it went great. Yeah, really prepared.
As the team mentor, Mark, how do you feel the presentation went and the offer on the table?
Well, I think Tom, first of all, did a great job. Really showed the passion and a great idea. And as a longtime salesperson, we all need motivation. So I thought it was great.
So, Tom, what's most exciting about this deal for you?
I think I just gained some great mentorship from some great alumni and going to build some great relationships. So really excited.
So what's next for your game plan? What's the next step after tonight? Accepting the deal, moving forward. What's next with your business plan?
I really think I'm going to sit down with these mentors and, kind of figure out these next steps. It seems like, they have some great ideas that I'd love to hear out.
Great. What about you, Mark? Moving forward with the offer on the table, what advice would you give to Tom?
Well, it's a great panel and great interest from the investors, so definitely worth more conversation and trying to make something work. So I think it's very exciting for him.
Great job tonight, and back to you, Dean Gibson.
All right, thank you very much, Sarah. And he didn't say, watch out for these sharks, man. They will take you down. Okay, let's see how we did on text to vote. So how often do you shop online or play fantasy sports while on the job or in class? A, every day. B, 3 or more times a month. And C, never. Looks like never wins it, but quite a bit of you are playing fantasy sports. I'm happy to see that. All right, now we are ready for Team 2 run the video.
I think we all kind of grew up mowing lawns, shoveling driveways, that kind of thing. But now it's weird to knock on doors. So we want to replace that with technology. We're really prepared to take the seed money that we get and put it straight to use. We have a local software consultancy that we're going to possibly work with. We have sort of taken all the right steps. We have a good marketing plan. We have the finances ironed out. And we're ready to make it all happen. With your help, we want to bring communities back together, one favor at a time.
All right, I want to bring FavorWire to the stage. FavorWire is presented by Chris Nicasto and Jason Wurtzel, and John Bauer is also on the team. Their team mentor is Professor Kathy Giappone. So come on down. Team 2. Oh, there they are.
Hello, everyone. My name's John Bauer.
I'm Jason Wurtzel.
And our company is FavorWire. So we just want to talk to you guys. First off, I want to ask the audience and I want to ask the investors. Who here grew up maybe, going around town, shoveling driveways, mowing the lawn, doing landscaping, anything like that? Great. So I'd say about, 3/4 of the audience. Jason and I did it as well, and we loved it. There was something so rewarding about, getting 20 or 30 bucks for an hour of hard work.
The weird thing is now, though, that kids don't want to do that anymore. Nobody wants to do that. It's weird to go around knocking on the door, asking to do jobs for people. People just won't do it anymore. And the problem is, people still need their lawns mowed, and they're still willing to have people do it for them. But instead, they have to go to local companies, and they're paying way too much for it. So we're here to fix that. So what is FavorWire? FavorWire is an app that connects busy working people with young, ambitious individuals looking to make a little bit more money in their spare time. So as a college student myself, working an internship as well as 5 classes, I really don't have too much time for a part-time job on top of all of that. But what I really could use was something where I can just make my own schedule, pick jobs that I can do in my spare time, and that can make a little bit more money for the weekend. That's where FavorWire really could help me out.
Okay, so the first question is, who are we reaching out to? And there's 2 sides to this app, obviously. There's doers and then there's posters. On that doer side, we're reaching out to 16 to 22-year-olds. That's people in high school, people in college. Maybe they're just trying to make some money for the weekend. Maybe they want to pay through their education. As Jason said, they've got some spare time, and they really want to put that time to use and make some money. Now, on the other side, there's posters, and that's 35 to 64. Obviously, there's a ton of overlap with demographics there. Maybe these people are in the heart of their careers. Maybe they're parents. Maybe they're early retirees. But the common denominator here is that all of these people need an extra hand once in a while, and those are the people we're looking to serve.
So how does this work? So let's take an example. Let's say Dr. Huntley, he needs his lawn mowed, but he's so busy working to get everything ready for the startup showcase that he doesn't really have time to actually go out and mow his own lawn. And John, who's a full-time student, full 5 classes, and an internship, he needs to make some money for the weekend, but doesn't necessarily have the time to do it. So FavorWire could fix this. So Dr. Huntley goes on, he selects the category that it would be in, so lawn mowing in this case, and he writes a short description about the job that he needs done. He posts the date that he needs it done as well, and the maximum price he'd be willing to pay for this.
Okay, and then I hop on and I see Dr. Huntley's listing, and I say, okay, well, I can do that. I'm available that day during that time. I'll do it for $45.
So Dr. Huntley then goes on at the end of the bidding session, he sees all of the bids. So He sees John's bid at $45. His original listing was at $55. He looks, John has a great rating. He seems like a great guy. He looks like he'll do a good job. So Dr. Huntley is going to accept John's request. John goes, he gets a notification that he got the job. He goes, he mows Dr. Huntley's lawn at the specified date. Once it's all finished, Dr. Huntley will give John a rating on how well he did the job. John will give a rating on Dr. Huntley on how accurate the job description was and how well the job went. The money is transferred, so John gets the $45 and everybody leaves happy.
So, what does the competitive landscape look like? We broke it down to show 3 of our top competitors, and what you'll notice is that while some of these have a lot of the features that we have, none of them deliver value in the same way. We allow you to post custom jobs. We also allow you to give reviews on those jobs. We allow people under 21 to use it, and it caters to non-professionals. Our true distinctive feature is our bid system. So that means basically somebody could bid on it, right? Let's say they do $45, somebody else does $40, $35, but maybe that 45 person could do a better job. So the selector could figure out who fits the bill best and select that person.
The biggest question is, how are we going to make money off of this? So every transaction is going to include a 10% convenience fee as well as a $1 flat fee. Now this is going to be paid for by the favor lister. So say the winning job, winning bid offer is $25. With the 10% fee as well as the $1 flat fee, it'll amount to about $28.49. So that's $3.49. Of that, about 1/3 of it is going to be go to Stripe API, which is the firm that we've outsourced to handle all of the transactions in a safe and secure manner, so nobody's personal information is given out. The rest of it, that goes to FavorWire in terms of revenue. So in our revenue projections, which are given out on the handouts that we gave you guys, it breaks it down a little bit more. We think by year 2, we can actually make a profit. With our calculations, we actually think at 50,000 jobs, that's our break-even point, and we can reach that before the end of year 2 in a full launch.
Okay, we're seeking $100,000 under a simple agreement for future equity. That includes development, marketing, and operations for the 6 months that we plan on achieving proof of concept in Fairfield County. Thank you.
So,
all right.
Sorry. So we want to bring communities together one favor at a time. Are you guys with us?
All right, thank you. FavorWire. We turn it over to our investors.
I'll tell you, great job. When I originally read the plan, I liked it a lot. I think you're, I can't take credit. We're talking, you're kind of like the Uber for tasks, okay? So I'm very excited about it. However, I've got some concerns that I just wanted to see if you've addressed or if you looked into, and it may be something that we could work on. If you can address these issues to my satisfaction, then I would definitely be interested in working with you. My whole thing is that I'm from New York, and there's a lot of regulations, there's a lot of laws, there's a lot of licensing, and if you guys are fantastic painters, and you paint one of my rooms that my wife wants me to paint, and I can get you to do it on FavorWire, what's to stop the licensed painters that pay their fees and their county fees and their licensed contractor fees? In addition to that, a follow-up to that is if somebody gets hurt while they're painting in my house, where's the workers' comp, where's the legalities of who's covered? So those are my 2 issues. But I really like the idea. You've tapped into something similar to the Ubers and the Lyfts and the Airbnbs, the largest players in the market space right now don't have employees. They have intermediate exchange between people doing something and people wanting something. So I like it a lot, just I've got some concerns.
In terms of liability for a worker that gets hurt, so technically they wouldn't be our employees, they're independent contractors, and we've actually worked with a lawyer as well as insurance agencies, so there is some sort of liability that you're always going to have there. In the terms and conditions, working with them as well as general liability insurance, we've actually come up with a plan where in our terms and conditions we will limit the amount of risk that we're exposed to by having people sign waivers before they do it, saying that in a sense that we are not entirely liable for any damage or injury that may occur on the job, that you're taking this at your own risk. And again, we're still working with lawyers and insurance companies to really iron out all the details on that one. In terms of preventing the professional listers from going on it, so we do have a sort of a vetting process. So while they can do this, and they can certainly do it in their spare time, I know many professional painters do take other jobs outside of their own job to do it. They can definitely do that. The whole point is to really open it up to the community though, and have people bid on that job. So a lot of times companies aren't going to be able to afford the lower price that the bid system is going to offer them, because they do need to cover their costs and any other fees that they may have to do. So that really kind of prevents companies from taking over these jobs, is being able to open up to the entire community and create that competition in the bid system. Especially with 16 to 22-year-olds who have a bit of a lower opportunity cost than employers might have.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure I got it, but when you're talking about babysitting, there's no retail store that provides babysitting and is licensed. It's a local type of who knows who. But when it comes to painting or contracting or moving or things like that, which is stuff that you're talking about, there are requirements to register to do that as a business. That's my concern, and that's something that I need to see addressed.
Yeah, so all of the categories that we have up there, these are just sort of samples, right? Maybe some of them will fit the bill better than others, and some of them won't work at all. But from what we've researched, we see that everything up there that's on the how does it work slide, everything up there should work.
I don't think we're at too much liability for having to apply as a moving company or anything like that. I think it's a bit more of we're just facilitating the transaction that's happening and connecting these two parties.
What if you tell us about your market research to figure out, as Michael has said, there are clearly two ends here, people wanting work and people needing to have work done. And once you have that figured out, it seems possible to put a business in between, right? But what kind of a business? What kind of work did you do so that you're talking about painters and mowing grass versus helping me figure out my cell phone or hooking up my wireless whatever.
Router.
Thank you.
Okay, well, in terms of market research, we realized that we can't get everything into all of that, so we were very conservative with our numbers, right? So one of them is 3% of doers in the respective populations that we hope to enter. That's what we're trying to get for market penetration. And then 1.5% of listers. So that's our full population and all of our financials.
And a different question, not the percentage and how your numbers are going to grow, but what kind of research did you do to figure out what kind of tasks, either that people can do, because that's one part of it, maybe they're not technical enough to help me with my whatever he said, or what the users need. I don't know if it's somebody just to mow the grass. That's pretty easy for me to get done, but I got a lot of undone stuff.
Maybe simplify the question a little bit or help you frame it. What are the top 5 tasks that you believe are out there in the marketplace that both doers and listers need?
Okay, so I'd say top 5 would probably be landscaping, lawn mowing, snow clearing, gardening would be one of them, painting, those kinds of things.
Helping you move something. A lot of times, just look for somebody who has a pickup truck that you just need them to help you move something from here or there. I think that's a very popular one. Again, this is a lot of us talking around and kind of surveying people on our own in terms of seeing what would they be interested in using it, and these are typically the answers that they always gave us. Whereas, I usually mow my own lawn, but I'm going to be away on vacation. Could you just mow for me while I'm gone, kind of thing. So definitely those jobs.
All right, any final questions?
Just a final question. I do think there's a lot more, you have a lot more competitors than you might realize. I want you guys to take a look at like Odesk, Elance Odesk, and what they do with professional services, and then also some of the higher end professional services ones like Hourly Nerd and Spare Hire, and how they've set up their platform. They've really, really evolved over time once they figured out. So one big question is, if you have a lister of a service and they don't get any bids, and they list once, and then the second time they don't get any bids, how do you kind of match up doers with listers? How do you make that work?
So one thing that we can definitely do is, in order to facilitate, if one job is not really getting any bids on it at all, it could be a matter of pricing. They could be pricing it way too low, saying, I want you to mow my lawn, I'll pay you $15 to do it. No, it's not worth it. You can't do that. So what we could do, some people might increase their price in order to create more demand for it. At the same time, if there is no problem with the price, there may be some sort of discount we're going to have to give to incentivize people to start bidding on that job. Saying maybe we'll will pay a little bit more than this on top of what the favored lister is offering.
All right, investors, what are you thinking over here? Do we have a deal for FavorWire?
There's so many questions I have. I mean, liability in my house. If somebody falls through a glass table, am I getting sued? Am I, there's something there. I just think there's a regulatory and a legal environment that I don't know well enough yet.
I would agree with that, and I'm still very intrigued by the concept, and I don't know that this need has been served, and certainly Angie's listing textbooks don't do this, so I'm kind of interested in it.
I am too.
mean, is it worth us sitting down with them for a meeting and asking some more of the legal questions? You guys would get the benefits of some of our, we have lots of lawyers, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have Dan Fitzgerald in the front row.
To think through some of those challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're really pretty.
Don't let our trepidation scare you. In fact, let this trepidation inspire you, because one of the companies I sold, I was told by people I respected, it's not going to work. Someone's going to do it. Someone's going to steal it from you. Someone with more money. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I have stuff that I'd like you to bid on. I have stuff my wife wants me to do that I haven't gotten to. And I got to find time. I got to get my 12-year-old son to help me, and he knows I don't want to do it, and I would love to have somebody bid to get the stuff done that I want done. So I think there's something there. I don't know what, I'm not ready to put cold, hard cash in. I'd certainly be willing to talk with you and speak with you and maybe spend some investment to get some more legal advice. I need the licensing. I need to know you can do this, because if I was a painting company doing very, very well as a painter, and I found out that you guys created this great FavorWire, and all of a sudden I don't have any painting business in Fairfield County, I'm going right to the authorities or right to the government going, why am I a licensed painter? Why?
Right. Would you put up a couple thousand maybe for legal costs, maybe?
I mean, anybody else interested? Split it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I want to say, like, any of you guys interested at all? Or?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? You go grand each, like five. I don't know. Maybe can we get a discounted rate on real legal advice somehow? I mean, can we get 10 grand of legal advice for $5 split between 4 investors? Or I'd be more than happy to do that, because I like it. I like the fact that it's Uber-like. It's something that I think could work. I think all the businesses that you'll be taking business from are going to have a real issue with it.
I'm in,
You're
but
in?
I think the exploration, what I would want is not just the legal issues, which are critical.
You want
that,
equity. You
that
want
could shut you down. Well, of course. But I would like some of that money to be spent refining the market a little bit more. Because I don't know what today's 16, 17, 18-year-olds can do, and then who really needs that. And there's the whole, who do I want coming to my house that I don't know thing. People living alone might need the most help, might be the most
That's true. You're talking about people
reluctant.
going inside the
But
home
on the
now
other
and
hand,
outside the home.
maybe you really specialize, and maybe, I don't know what this FavorWire building community thing is. I guess I'd put that on the list. The legal, the targeting the market a little bit better, and you're giving out kind of a mixed message. What do you mean?
Yeah, favors usually don't require cash.
All right, so am I hearing about $5,000?
Yeah, I'd be happy to be involved. Yeah, I like it. I just
All
I need
right.
more
So
answers.
more market targeting with investment in legal, or looking at some of the legal issues, and maybe targeting jobs that don't have as much of the legal liability as well.
Right.
Like maybe we're not talking about going into the house, maybe we're talking about outside the
Yeah,
house.
that's true. Going into my home is something.
So-
If I'm not home, my wife and kids
Well,
are. I mean,
and
you guys would be
maybe
great, but I don't know who's
making
coming in.
it work that gives you pocket money is one thing, but making it work that helps build your career path, which is why the technology
I think
assisting would be appealing
Yeah,
to
I
me.
can certainly help with the technology and what you'd want the platform to do at the minimum viable product level.
All right, I'm hearing something I'm going to offer here. $5,000.
$5,000. I would.
3 big questions.
3 big questions, and then
Okay.
from there, I wouldn't even some small piece of equity if it actually goes forward.
So more due diligence.
5%?
You want more than that?
No, I like it. It's good.
Okay.
You know?
$5,000, 5%.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you got a deal.
I'm in.
I think they will continue to talk for several minutes here. I think we have a deal. All right. Nice work, gentlemen. For FavorWire.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it.
Well done. Well done.
Good job.
All right, the team will now head to the lobby for their interview. And that's here, I'll take that off your hands. All right, there we go. And you guys go that way. All right, meet your mentor out there. All right, I do have the second text to vote question. All right, ready to do the little text to voting a little bit one more time? Well, several more times. If you had an odd job, would you seek out FavorWire to find an ambitious young worker? A, yes. B, no. C, maybe. And D, I don't have an odd job. And maybe, I don't know what kind of job you have, but so A, yes, B, no, C, maybe, and D, I don't have an odd job. And we're ready to go to the interview. Alex and Sarah.
Hey guys, we're here with Dr. G. Paponi, mentor for FavorWire. How do you think it went tonight?
I think they did a great job. I'm really thrilled. I think it's terrific when you recognize an unmet need based on your own experience, and this came out of their own personal experiences. So I think they did a wonderful job.
And how about you guys? How you guys feeling after getting that deal?
Yeah, we're excited. I think we need, some legal advice, and they can really help out with that. So we're thrilled to get going with it.
Definitely relieved right now,
Now, moving forward, obviously the investors gave you some great advice, raised some good questions. What do you think the next step is for FavorWire?
I think the next step is definitely sit down with them and really iron out all the questions that they had and really get a solid plan going. And then from there, I think we can really move on with developing the app and reaching out to our market.
What advice would you give them in going forward with those suggestions?
Oh, I think you take all the advice you're given, learn from everybody, learn from the group here that has offered you advice and offered you money. And I think, they need the legal advice. So that's tremendous, as well as they have to do some work in the market area too. So I think that was terrific. Yep.
Definitely. Great job tonight, guys. Back to you, Dean Gibson.
All right. Thank you, Sarah and Alex. And thanks, Professor Kathy Giappone is our terrific professor in the business school. All right, let's see the conclusion of our text to vote. It looks like yes was the winner here. So we have some people with odd jobs that need to get done. So FavorWire, a little bit more market research done for you live here on the showcase stage. All right, it is now time for Team 3. Let's run the video.
Currently, there are 60 million people in the United States that have a disability, and of those 60 million, many people feel isolating effects in society. So the product itself is going to bring this community together to create positive impact in each other's lives. I'm passionate about this because I'm hard of hearing and I have an implantable hearing aid. A lot of times in my life I felt isolated, but I wanted to connect with someone that understood me. So tonight, I'm looking for an investment to hire software developers and a team that can get the product out there so people can see it. I'm George Protessis, and believe me, you will not regret investing in my company.
All right, to the stage now is Thrivio, and Thrivio is presented by George Protessis. His team mentors are Derek Koch and Gene Morrow. George.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is George Protessis, and I'm the founder of Thrivio. Tonight, I'm seeking $65,000 in exchange for 10% equity in the company. But before I begin, I want to share a personal story as to why I'm here tonight. I'm hard of hearing. Many times in my life, I felt isolated, alone, and even depressed. So when I was 8 years old and understood that I needed a hearing aid, my parents bought the device the audiologist recommended. Now let's fast forward 10 years. I needed a new hearing aid. So I figured I had an advantage over my parents, where I could go online and find hearing aid reviews and engage myself in a community of people that had gone through this. But I was wrong. The internet could not help me solve these challenges. This is important to know because low-end hearing aids cost anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000, and high-end ones like the one I'm wearing on my right ear cost $40,000. So making the right choice is very critical. So dealing with this personally, I understood that people with disabilities often struggle to find a trusted platform on products and services in a place where they can connect with people just like themselves. There was a significant need in this market, and Thrivio is going to solve these problems. Thrivio helps the disability community in 3 different ways. It helps users find reliable products and services through the rating and review system. It helps you share and engage with like-minded individuals through the unique social media platform. And by doing so, Thrivio creates and grows a trusted community of products, services, and supportive peers. Like me, the goal is to get people with disabilities to fully integrate into society in the most positive way. So let me set the stage. How many people in America are disabled? 60 million people, and they break into these 4 categories: hearing, vision, ambulatory, and cognitive, each requiring their own products, unique products and services. So this is the overall US market, and this is our plan for growth to go after it in 5 different phases. But where do we begin? We're gonna target the local hearing and vision communities in Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. Of these 2 million people, half are hard of hearing and deaf. 70% of these individuals are dissatisfied with their device. That's 700,000 people in need of a trusted platform to rate and review products. So this is the competitive landscape. The channels on the left focus on the general population, but what differentiates Thravio is that we exclusively focus on the disability community and hyper-serve their unique needs. So how are we gonna go after this market? We're gonna use Facebook and Instagram, partner up with not-for-profit organizations, college campuses, and attend conferences. So now I want to walk you through some early looks of the Thravio user experience. Once you log in, you will be prompted to answer a few questions based on your disability, location, and preferences. This will establish your presence on the platform, and the algorithm will match you with the best products, services, and people. And this will lead into the discovery page. If I select to discover products, Thravio is going to match me with the best hearing aids. If I select to view this device, I can see its score, its ranking, how much it costs, but most importantly, I can read and write reviews, because as I mentioned before, 70% of the people are dissatisfied with their device. So by reading real reviews from real people, you get a better sense of understanding before making that important financial decision. So once a user gains trust in the community of reviews, they can opt to discover people. So in this case, Thravio is going to match me with Carly, who's also a student at Fairfield and shares the same interest that I have in running. From there, I can send her a friend request or message her to find out more about her personal story. So this is a Thravio team that's going to bring this idea to life. We are very fortunate to have a great group of advisors. We are currently seeking to bring on a technical person as a co-founder. So how is Thravio going to make money? We're going to make money through advertising with medical companies and specialists, through sponsorships with not-for-profit organizations, and affiliate sales where we take a commission on every payment made on the platform. So these are our 4-year projections. We're going to take that initial $65,000 and build a minimal viable product beta version. Once we build this, we're going to need additional capital to build the iOS and Android extensions. And as you can see from the projections, the number of users and total revenue scales significantly to the point where we become profitable in year 4. I can walk you through some of these numbers during the Q&A, but once again, I'm seeking $65,000 in exchange for 10% equity in the company. Thank you for listening, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
I turn it over to the investors.
And if you don't mind, if you can speak up a little bit, I'd really appreciate it.
How's that? Work well for you? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay, they were having issues with my mic. All right, George, well done. I want to compliment you. When I first read the bio a couple of days ago when it came in, yours definitely interested me. So I might be a little bit biased up here, but I'm going to try to be impartial with some questions for you.
It's your money. You spend it.
Yeah, that's right. I guess the first question that I had, and I think it came to a bunch of us, is I recognize you're going after a specialized group of people, but what really makes you different than Facebook or some other social medium that's out there right now?
It's a great question. So Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, they don't focus exclusively on the disability community. So we also have other apps like Journey and MeFinder that focus on diverse communities like religious, LGBT, but not exclusively on the disability community. So what makes us unique is that we focus only in this community and help these people find friendships and also products and services.
Okay, as a follow-up question, one of the things that I looked at, and I'm not sure if it's one of your plans, but I looked at it, having a father who had some ailments as he got older, I would also look for restaurants that were conducive to his particular ailment. Are you looking to go into that fashion, almost like a TripAdvisor or somebody that rates restaurants, if you will, almost like a Zagat type environment?
So we're going to roll this out in a few phases. So the first step is to have this review and rating system. Then once we gain traction in the community, we're going to roll out a curated newsfeed. With this newsfeed, you can see the latest technologies and advancements in your disability, but you're also going to see which restaurants, which hotels have accessibility features. So if I'm in a wheelchair, I'm not going to go eat at a restaurant where I just can't. So with this curated newsfeed, by putting it in your settings that you're in a wheelchair, you'll be able to find the specific restaurants and hospitality places that accommodate you.
And you said you're looking for 65,000. Can you give me a breakdown of what's that for? Tell me
So
what are your plans for the money?
The $65,000 will be used to build a minimal viable product. And there are many programs in New Haven, like A100 and Knock Media, that have said they would build this hybrid version or a web-based platform where they're using JavaScript and so forth. So once we get this MVP product in, we can use that to show other investors in order to build the iOS and Android extensions.
The investors have other questions?
Talk to us a little bit about the market as you see it. Multiple disabilities and multiple age groups within that, some of which will be social media savvy, some will not. One approach will fit all?
So that's a good question. So if you have any parents that are not really tech savvy, you could access this app on their behalf. So if they're looking for a hearing aid or they're looking for the newest wheelchair, you can go on it, the caregiver, and find these products for them. Or maybe, find someone else that your parents could engage with to get a cup of coffee or whatever that may be.
Okay.
Other questions?
You said the product development was going to be local?
Local in New Haven, correct.
Why?
A100.
No, sorry, why?
What was that?
Why? Why do you want to do
Why
it local?
local?
Why?
Well, Fairfield University places a huge emphasis on staying in Connecticut and not really going to Silicon Valley or Silicon Alley. So I'm going to do my best to stay in Connecticut and make Connecticut proud. Because lately we've seen a lot of setbacks where GE is leaving us, where Aetna is leaving us. We want Thrivio to stay in Connecticut and really make the state proud.
Nice job, George. Crowd pleaser there. Yep.
You mentioned, I believe you mentioned it's like an unaddressed market. You mentioned Meetup and Twitter and Facebook. Are there groups within those groups of those social medias that target the disability community?
Mm-hmm. So like for my device right now, there's a group on Facebook that has about 400 people. But in order for me to find that, I had to go through other word of mouth streams. And meetup.com is how I found these organizations in the city. But all this information, all these organizations are scattered all over the place. So the main objective of Thrivio is to get all this information condensed in one platform.
Yeah. Any monetization that you can hope for depends on adoption. People have to adopt your social media for their specific needs. What's your plan to get, if it's an unaddressed market, and I like the fact that it's an unaddressed market, I'd want some more competitive landscape analysis. If there's really no Thrivio type entity out there, just fragmented social media groups that have subgroups, that's great. The question is, what's the plan? If that's true, great, and what's the plan to get them from there to go to Thrivio? Because if you start selling advertising to make revenue for a specific hearing device, you got to keep your autonomy, your kind of independence, your neutrality. Thank you.
So we're going to go and talk to these medical device companies, these local specialists in the area, and talk to them and say, hey, do you want more business? And if they want more business, they can advertise on this platform so people of specific disabilities can see.
Right, but before somebody says, yes, I'm going to go, great, of course I want more business. I'm glad you showed up today. What's the number of people that are in your community at Thrivio?
So we're going to have breakdown in data analytics for this part. So we know that in Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts, there's 1.9 million people just that are hard of hearing, deaf, and low vision and blind. So these people are in need of something. And these audiologists, these sight specialists, the ENT doctors, they're going to seek out to advertise on this platform. And in terms of the sponsor,
if you have the people,
kind of wrap
I'm
it
not
up
being
here,
critical.
Michael.
I really like the idea. It's one of my favorite ones so far.
It's a chicken and egg. How do you get the people versus the advertisers simultaneously?
If you came to me and said, I got 1.9 million on Thrivio, would you like to advertise on it? I'll be like, yes, where do I sign up? But if I say to you, how many are on Thrivio? And you're like, well, I don't have anybody right now. So I need to know how you get from there to there.
So what exactly is your question?
The question is, how do you take the fragmented people in the 60 million people that are fragmented and get them to Thrivio so that people will advertise and want to spend money and go to Thrivio?
So we can partner up with college campuses. Hold on, where's that? I have it. So we can partner up with college campuses, go out with the non-for-profit organizations like the National Federation of the Blind, the Hard of Hearing Loss Foundation of America, and attend conferences like the Abilities Expo, which is 6 times.
You're going to grassroots drive people to a new social media. Okay.
All
you
right.
pull that off, you got fantastic monetization. If you don't pull it off,
Investors, do you have, George? Investors?
I like it a lot. Like it a lot.
If you can.
Well, there's a little bit to be figured out in terms of execution, but the need and the multiple ways to monetize satisfying that need,
The fact that you
it's
have an
there.
interest market, without a doubt, it's definitely.
And the market's there, absolutely.
And there's no other, I'm going to put the quotes again, Thrivio out there that's doing this.
We're the only exclusive ones.
Shoki?
Again, I like this, George. I think you've got something here. I look at your ask, and my concern looking at this would be how much money is going towards development. Listening to people up here, in my own personal opinion, I think you got to put some money towards outreach, and I think that plan has got to be developed. Because I think you've got a partner that can build the site. You've got a great case. You can see you're passionate about it. So you've got a tremendous head start on this. But the big thing you'd have to prove to me is how are you really going to sell it, and tell me about the grassroots. So, I think we've spoken a little bit before, and here's what I think would be a fair offer. We'd support you up to about $25,000 for 20% of the company. But here's a caveat on it. We're going to take advantage of some of our resources here, and we're going to try to get you a grant through the state of Connecticut, through CT Innovations, to try to match us dollar for dollar. So that'll get us almost a 50 of where you need to be. So again, our 25 would be contingent on getting that grant, but I think if you sit down with us, smart group, we could help you get that achieved.
So how many of you are interested in joining this endeavor together?
I'm in.
I
think you got the whole group sold.
So 4 out of 6?
Yeah.
I think you had 6 out of 6, actually.
All 6.
Well, I'd like to counter your offer.
5, okay. 5 out of 6.
This is really my baby. So to give 20% away at this early stage, that makes the knots turn in my stomach. So I'm going to counter offer with $25,000 in exchange for 15%.
I'm looking right, I'm looking left.
Split the difference. 18%.
17.
17 and a half.
George!
I gotta get, I mean. It's not even a
Most companies start off with no revenue. It's the belief that this can be the next de facto platform.
I'll tell you what, if we match the 25 through a grant, it goes back up to the 20.
If we pull off the grant.
Okay.
Pull off the grant.
That's fair.
Right?
If you guys hold up your deal of the end, or your end of the deal.
So I'm confused.
So
what did we just do?
17%
By all means.
for the 25,000, but if we
Okay.
get a matching grant up to 25,000, we're at 20%.
I thought we weren't going to do the 25,000 unless we got the matching grant.
Yeah, the 25 doesn't do him any good if he doesn't
Right.
have enough money to develop the whole thing.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So we can take that 25,000 and build the beta version, and then eventually in August or September, whenever that is, we can repitch this again to local investors. And we'll have something in our hand to show them what works and what doesn't. And over the summer, which I have already been doing, customer development. I know the CEO of In Tandem and Achilles International, and have been surveying all these individuals. And initially in September, I thought this would be a platform to find friendship, love, and jobs. But that has radically transformed into a place where people can find products and services. And I didn't know that until I went out to the community, and I realized that this is what people really wanted. So ideas are always evolving, and we're really going to make this the best thing out there.
While my colleagues think for a couple of minutes, I want to say it makes me really nervous as a long-term investor where money is being offered to you, including the work to get a match for that money, which is very close to the dollar amount you're asking, plus a lot of help, and you're worried about dilution for getting that.
It's always a concern to have in the back of your head.
It's
You have to
a
protect
concern
your.
to have in the back of your head, but when we're offering you oxygen and you say, gee, I think I can get by, I can breathe more slowly.
No, that's not what I think. I'm just saying, in reality, that $25,000 will build this a beta version, and then we're eventually going to need to raise more capital to build
Absolutely.
So that's all I'm saying, but I really appreciate your support, and I think this is a deal. Are you guys on board?
Which is the deal?
I'm not sure. Wait. I'd like to hear what you think the deal is right now.
The deal is $25,000, and that would give 18%, and then over the course of the summer, we can discuss that going up to 20%, as you guys mentioned.
Is that how you guys see it?
I think we're at a point where we don't want to take any more time. We're very interested. I think we all talk afterwards, but let's
Yeah.
assume we're going to go down this path and
Yeah.
try to figure something out and
Good.
do a side conversation. How's
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
sound
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
Nice work, George.
Well done.
All right.
You can monetize
I don't know about you, audience, but would you like to be on that stage with this crowd asking questions? I don't think so. Nice work. Excellent. We will now do text to vote. All right, here we go. This is, all right, the question is, do you understand how Thrivio makes a profit? Vote for this one. Do you understand how Thrivio makes a profit? A, yes, B, no, and C, maybe. All right, do you understand how Thrivio makes a profit? Yes, no, maybe. We're going to go out to the lobby. But let me announce first our gold sponsors for tonight, because I do want to acknowledge them. Gold sponsors tonight are Barnes Group Incorporated, Joe Bronson, Mary and Brian Campbell, Critical Mix, Bob and Maureen Stanley. Thank you very much to our gold sponsors. Can I have a round of applause for them? Thank you. I know, I'm having you text to vote and clap at the same time. It's a lot going on here. All right, are we ready in the lobby with George and his mentor?
Oh, we are always ready, Dean Gibson. We're here with David Furch and Gene Morrow and the man himself, George Protestis. How do you think it went today, guys?
I think it went pretty well. I'm very excited that I was able to get a deal in working with the mentors over the Summer Fellows program.
How do you guys think it went? What advice did you give George? How do you think his presentation went?
I thought it went great. Anytime you can get 6 of the investors on the stage to agree that it's a great idea, I think he did a great job presenting. So,
Fantastic outcome. Just couldn't be prouder. Not at all surprised, and really happy with the outcome.
Obviously, this is a really personal issue for you, George. What was the point where you decided that there was a need and that you could do something about it?
This need was always part of my life, and I'm looking forward to really connecting with people that understand me. And also, when I'm in the market for a new hearing aid, I really want to see what's out there and what the best one is for me.
So congratulations tonight. Good luck moving forward. Back to you, Dean Gibson.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Nice work. All right, our fourth startup is ready to come up. Let's roll the video.
We're marketing to pretty much anyone of any illness who takes prescribed medication. The market's only going to increase as we go into the future. Money is going to enable us to not only produce our first 10 individual devices and get them out the door to people who actually need them to see how they think about it, but also it would allow us to think further on and think about how we can further along the manufacturing process of it and build it up to be what it could be. Our product is going to save thousands of lives. It's going to help people every day. You will not regret investing in our business.
All right, ReadyMed will be presented by Michelle Patota, Cameron Sales, and Cameron Whitelaw. Additional team members are Austin Hablaki, Romario Lemmy, Hassam Vahora, and Kevin Zwick. Their team mentor is Ryan Munden, and combine engineering and business students. Take it away.
Good evening. My name is Michelle,
I'm Hasim.
And I'm Cameron.
and we are ReadyMed.
ReadyMed began as a group of 4 engineers with our advisor, Dr. Ryan Munden, and we were looking to solve a serious growing problem. We teamed up with a couple of business students and then faculty members from the schools of business, engineering, and nursing as advisors in order to bring to you a much needed product. Our idea began after seeing many of our loved ones struggling to keep up with taking their daily medications. I specifically remember my own grandfather has a whole gallon Ziploc bag of different pills he needs to be taking, and I was just shocked that he could keep track of so many, especially when any mistake could cost him his life, and it weighed very heavily on me and my family. So we wanted to make his life a little easier.
I've also had family members in the past who've passed away due to not adherence to their medication schedules.
And I have an 8-year-old brother with autism who could personally benefit from this because he takes time-sensitive medication every day. And I'm sure many of you guys can relate to this. 125,000 Americans die each year due to mismedication. Right now, non-medical adherence leads to an increase in hospitalization, which then leads to an increase in medical costs. People today do not have a product that can organize and schedule their medications for them without human error. On average, 42% of Americans are hospitalized, which costs about $11,000. We come to you today with a product that we believe reduces risks, saves lives, as well as money.
So our solution to this growing problem is Medispense. Medispense is a fully automated pill storing, organizing, and dispensing device that can store up to a 90-day supply of any type of pill, no matter what shape or size. It comes with a 3-step verification program to ensure the safety of our user. That includes user verification of the medication they're taking, image recognition software to cross-reference the types of pills with an online database to make sure that the correct information is being input, and a weight-sensitive system to ensure that whatever pills are being dispensed are the correct pills and the correct amount of pills. We also include various priority-based notifications, including programmable vocal notifications from the device, text messages, landline calls, and cell phone calls. Another big important thing to us would be peace of mind. So we include email reports about the well-being of the user and how they're sticking to their medication. That would be available for loved ones, also for caretakers as well. And also software updates to ensure that our device remains bug-free and relevant for years to come.
The device functions using a vacuum to pick up individual pills and places those pills into a dispensing cup. When the user loads their pills into the device sorts through the pills and goes through a 3-step verification process to ensure that they're correct. When the user's alerted to take their medication, they simply walk up to the device, input their passcode, and retrieve their medication. We currently have a few competitors. However, none of our competitors have fully finished products yet, and none of our competitors are on the market yet. We believe that our device is more reliable, more safe, more user-friendly, and will lead to a greater success.
Millions of people today have to manage over a dozen medications, and this leads to mistakes. We believe our product is best suited to the loved ones of those who commonly forget to take their medication, those with chronic illnesses, those who take time-sensitive medications, those with mental illnesses and disabilities.
We plan on selling Medispense on our Amazon website as well as on our e-commerce website. We also plan on selling Medispense to pharmaceutical retailers such as CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid. And we also believe that Medispense has great potential for clinical trials. And so we plan on selling those devices to doctors and private practitioners as well.
We are seeking $275,000 for 18.5% equity. We plan on selling 1,000 units our first year and 2,800 units our second year. We believe Medispense is pill dispensing done smart, and we want to thank you for your time.
I think we appreciate the personal touch of your coming over to introduce yourselves, and also the personal touch of you had each in your individual lives experienced someone who had a need for this. What would you say are the top 3 reasons for non-compliance, and how does your device address those reasons?
Some of the, besides just being forgetful, that's usually the top. In which case our device has different notifications and reminders. Usually that's one of the top problems for people, but also you have a lot of different medications to be keeping track of. So probably the second biggest issue is things like those little pillbox calendars where you have to sort out what you're gonna take at what day. People can make mistakes on those all the time. With Medispense, you wouldn't have to do that at all. All you do is you dump your pills in, and it'll pick out what you're supposed to take at what time. The third one being what time you're supposed to take it, if with meals, and what you're supposed to take it with. This device can remember all of that for you.
So forgetfulness, I'll be signaled that it's time to do something, or my caregiver will. Mistakes, inputting into the device is going to sort all that out. Who fills the device? Do I take it to the pharmacist to be filled?
I got this one. So the device...
Take it.
The device should be filled by the loved ones of the users. And so if the medication...
But my loved ones live 1,000 miles away. They're going to fly in every time and fill it for me?
If your loved ones live thousands of miles away, then the device can also be filled by people at the pharmacy, also a nurse, right, a registered nurse, as well as your doctor.
Okay. And will you recommend that there be a human interface in this process? And whose liability is it if something goes awry? Your machine didn't do it correctly. My mother's caregiver didn't do it correctly. What's the liability issue?
So part of our three-step verification process, because a lot of the device is programmed by the user, that's what the cross-reference with the pill database is for. So say if you put in some pill like maybe Advil and said that you needed to take it 6 times a day, the device, it has image recognition software, would see that's Advil, and it would cross-reference it and say, wait, that doesn't seem right. So it can catch your errors that way. So what we're trying to do is eliminate as much human error as possible.
But whose liability is it if something goes awry? Could it come back to you, and do you think you'll have to insure against that?
What if it spit out the wrong pill, for instance?
Right.
So stuff happens.
At the end of the day, if it's the user's responsibility to ensure that they're taking the correct pills, through our three-step verification process, we make sure that the user...
You tell that to the lawyer, right? It's okay to say you haven't figured this out yet. I'm just trying to think through.
Yeah.
It's a great idea, and you've worked really hard on it, and it's a huge need, and we're all paying for it, not just your grandfather and your brother or whomever. We're all paying for it. So, but there is that issue. I'm interested that though there are some major companies with devices, you're telling us they're not on the market. Do you know why that's so?
So one of the major companies would be Philip. And the Philip branded device doesn't do anything close to what our other competitors do. The Philip branded device simply just alerts you of your medications, but it doesn't bring it to the degree that our device is hoping to do.
But it is on the market. I thought they weren't.
They're selling more of a service, so a lifeline service perhaps, in which the user pays $60 a month for a lifeline that connects with the device and to a bunch of other devices in sequence. But that's less of our competitor and more of a different kind of market.
Okay, I'm not sure I got that sorted out, but because I thought you said there were these devices and you showed pictures of them, but they weren't yet on the market. And I was wondering why they weren't. But maybe I misunderstood.
Are there devices on the market now that are remotely similar to yours?
Currently, no, there are no devices on the market right now that are remotely similar to ours.
Right.
There are devices that do pill dispensing,
Yeah.
not to the degree that ours does with the safety and with the other features involved, but there are
What's
products
the
that do
largest
pill
company in that space? Because here's my initial concern. I think it's a great idea. I'm not 100% sure. If you just jump back to one slide, the blue arrow going in, this precise delivery system, I think that's your entire business there. You're relying on, to go back to your grandfather's large bag of thousands of pills, just dumping it in, and this machine's gonna be smart enough to spin around and know and drop out each one into the proper place. I don't know how that's done. I really need to understand that. If that can be done, that is really cool. But the other issue I have is that the people that you're selling it to are the ones that need a reminding to take these pills. Are they also going to need to be reminded to fill it? And I think that's where Mary was going. If you're going to tie this into somewhere once a month, a visiting nurse goes and loads this thing up and programs it, I think it's a chicken and the egg kind of thing. I'm a little concerned about that.
That might be a great business model. I think
it might be.
Not saying it isn't. It might be stronger, but I'm going to keep jumping forward and just touching on things. Patents? Do you have Are there aspects of this that are patentable, and have you done any work on that?
Absolutely. No, it's very much patentable. We use a completely different type of technology than any of the
Have you filed
competitors.
provisional patents, or have you taken any action on that front?
We've not.
Not yet, okay. What, the other side
We
of the
need to kind of
coin
wrap this part up.
is who else has patents, and can you freely operate without infringing on them?
Only one of our competitors has a patent on a gravity-fed system. We do not use a gravity-fed system. So ours would not infringe on theirs, and it would be patentable as well.
All right, investors, do you have an interest in this company?
I do, but I have about another hour worth of questions. I mean, it's, I'm not a manufacturing guy, but if you have the ability to ensure through the pharmacy or some sort of way that things get poured in the top and through gravity, scanning, whatever you're going to do.
Can I address that real quick?
Sure,
because
please.
I didn't get a chance. It's got individual compartments. We have 10 plus different models will have different storage capacity. But basically you would pour your pills into an individual compartment. Instead of sorting them, all of the pills go into a single compartment of each type. And as for refilling, the device would also have reminders of when your supply will run out. So when you need to refill it, if it's empty, it can tell you that it's empty.
Right, I mean, CVS will text me when I'm due for a refill also, but I'm concerned about my mother. My mother's actually pretty good, but she opens it up and pours it into the wrong compartment. You're saying that little blue arrow there is going to know, hey, that's sorts it. Sorts it.
Yeah.
I know we're running
That's where the image recognition
I know
comes
we're running
in.
out of time, so I will make you an offer. I think that you have a fair amount of figuring out not only how to make this, but whether it's really going to meet the needs and whether you can really do it without stepping on somebody else's intellectual property, because people have been trying to solve this problem for the decades that I've been in business. But if you would be interested in working through this during the summer, I don't know about my colleagues, but I would invest to support that for 7.5% of your company. So,
the same fuel program thing like the
yeah,
earlier company?
yeah.
This is for Fuel Summer Fellows Program for 7.5% of your company. That's the offer.
Can we make a counteroffer for 5%?
I don't know, is that the rule for the fuel program? I mean, do we have the ability to do that?
Yeah, there isn't a rule
There's no
on.
rule.
Oh, I didn't know
There
if
is
the
no
fuel
rule.
gets a piece or something from the...
The fuel program gets $5,000.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Right.
But the equity piece would
Yeah.
be up to you.
Mary, you got the lead.
I'm fine with the
Yeah,
5%.
5% 's fine.
Easy at this point.
Okay, then we'd love to take your offer.
Anybody else?
I'm in on that.
Okay.
Sure.
I think we have a deal. All right. Congratulations. Nice work. Wow. And I think I need an Advil myself to try to keep track of all this, but we are doing very well. So far, teams have accumulated 25 plus 10, 35, $40,000. That's double the amount we had last year. All right, I've got another text to vote. I just realized I did not reveal the conclusion of last time's text to vote, so sorry about that. We're just going to have to let that one go. It is? It'll be online. Okay, that one will be online. All right, so here's text to vote. How much would you pay for ReadyMed's product, or Medispense? It might be a new name. How much would you pay for this product? A, less than $100. B, $200. C, greater than $300. And D, I avoid all medications. I just don't do that. A, less than 100. B, 200. C, greater than 300. And D, I avoid all medications. I'd love to be in that camp. All right. I'd like to remind us of our silver sponsors tonight: Michael and Bonnie Garvey, Stephen and Hope Pilch, and RSM. Are we ready in the lobby? All right. Go for it, Alex and Sarah.
Hey guys, we're back with the mentor, Dr. Munden from Team ReadyMed and the teammates here. You guys, great job. What were your initial reactions after hearing everything from the investors?
I was pretty pleased with how everything went. Obviously, there's a lot more to talk about our product than we could fit in a 5-minute pitch. So further, negotiations and some work over the summer would really do us some good.
What advice would you give them in moving forward to the work with the investors over the summer?
So they've worked really hard already on developing this product, and we think this is a real need, and nobody really meets that need yet. So there's a lot of technological development to be done this summer, and we've already talked about, the investors can offer a lot of great advice on how to really get into the market, and especially because there are some other competitors. So that's important to figure out how to position ourselves against those other competitors and let people know that we do something that they don't do.
Going into the program over the summer with the investors, what's one goal of you guys as a team that you'd like to achieve?
One of our goals is going to be to complete a more fully functioning prototype that does a lot of the stuff that we expect it to do. We also plan to have a lot of the business aspects of this thing worked out and also the patents completed.
Congratulations, guys, and back to you, Dean Gibson.
All right, thank you, Sarah. It's going to be a busy summer. Terrific. Thank you very much. And now, what are the results of our text to vote? How much would you pay for ReadyMed's product? We're doing a little market research here. It looks like less than $100. All right, but there's, for 200 was B, so that was also in there as well. So some hints on the price elasticity of the product. All right, we are ready to go with our 5th and final startup. Let's roll the video.
There are 1.62 billion millennials who use social media in the world today, and this number is consistently growing. The market for our product is huge, and we will be the first ones to revolutionize the way that people connect in the broad social media spectrum. Being an innovative entrepreneur who makes a positive impact on the world is what we are striving to be. I want this just as bad as I can breathe. We want it so bad, and we're gonna get it. Our product is innovative and revolutionary. You will not regret investing in our company and becoming a part of our journey.
All right, our 5th startup is Zap. It will be presented by Anthony Crasto, Camille Hussein, and Joseph Pisano. Their team mentors are Mariano Portocarrero and Matt Powers. Take it away.
I'm Joe.
I'm Anthony.
And I'm Kumail. And we are Zap. And we were asked for a $300,000 investment for a 20% stake in our company. When coming to Fairfield, I had 0 friends. I barely even knew my roommates. But when I went out on weekends, I met so many people. I just never had enough time to ask for social media account information or even their cell phone numbers.
And I found that the process of connecting on social media could be complex and even at times awkward.
It doesn't help that most users do not use their exact first and last name as their social media profile name.
Investors, I understand that you guys probably have a Facebook. And you probably have a LinkedIn, but you definitely have a phone and email. We, as millennials, have these. We operate on social media platforms ranging all the way from Instagram to Tinder. Zap is a mobile app that revolutionizes the process of connecting with one another.
Connecting on social media should be as simple as taking a picture.
Zap conveniently connects to your users through a simple scan of a QR code, simultaneously syncing them on the social media platforms of their choice. Each user who registers with Zap will have their own personalized QR code embedded with their prospective social media data. When one user scans another user's QR code, they will be given the option of what social media platforms they would like to sync on. After all, it's what the user's comfortable with connecting on social media.
These wireframes display the future interface of our mobile application. Once the user receives their unique QR code, they select which platforms they would like to zap on, they confirm the zap, and voila, a succession page appears.
To keep users consistently incentivized to use Zap on a daily basis, we have come up with our incentive-based system, Volts.
Volts are a virtual currency. Essentially, there are 3 ways to attain votes. Every time you zap, you attain votes. Every time they share the app that results in another download, you attain votes. And every time you complete the weekly survey, you attain votes. Now, these votes add up to discounts, promotions at local or nationwide stores.
To give you guys a sense of the size of the social media market, we did some digging, and we like our results. We now know that 90% of millennials, people from the age of 18 to 29, use some sort of social media networking platform.
That's about 1.62 billion globally.
The social media market is consistently growing, with 283 million new users in 2015, translating to a 17% growth rate.
Out of these new users, about 29% are on their social media accounts several times a day.
To put these numbers into perspective on your very own Fairfield University campus, we conducted a market survey of 100 Fairfield undergrads. We came to the conclusion that 90% use more than 4 social media platforms. 85% said that they use social media more than 5 times a day, and 75% said that they meet new people on social media 1 to 3 times a week.
With the help of Critical Mix, we were able to create a much larger survey asking similar questions and receiving corresponding results, such as, out of the users, 52% said that they add someone often on more than one social media platform.
Although no one has directly replicated the use of the QR code like Zap does when connecting with people on social media, there are competitors that utilize the QR code in a different way when relating to social media. We understand that our marketing strategy will be essential for Zap's growth. We plan to implement a college campus ambassador program at the largest schools across the nation. After all, millennials connecting on social media every day are greatest and present on large college campuses.
We'd also like to advertise on popular college websites such as Her Campus and Total Frat Move.
As millennials, we use social media all the time. We understand the needs and wants of our consumers. We are the first to this market.
With the Campus Ambassador program being an integral part of our marketing strategy, our connections on large college campuses would be a huge asset.
The investment will be broken down as the following. With $190,000, or 64% being dedicated to our product development, we plan to build a prototype, a full-fledged app, as well as platform maintenance. Our marketing expenses will be 33%, with administrative expenses at 3%. The business model for Zap will operate on 3 main revenue streams: data analytics, social media commission, as well as sponsorships and partnerships. In year 3, Zap will become a cash flow positive business, where our revenue per user exceeds our user acquisition costs. And in year 5, we predict 90 million users, tuning into $200 million of revenue. In years 1 and 2, our maximum cash needs will be $300,000. We understand that the social media market is growing at an extremely fast pace, and technology is innovating quick as well. We as Zap understand that we will need to tailor and innovate to the needs of our consumers through implementing new technologies such as location services, RFID, bump, slide, and tilt technologies. We are not married to the QR code. With the strong advisory board with Matt Powers, former CTO of Applico, helping us with technology, and Marion Portocarrero, an analyst at Wells Fargo, helping us with finance and strategy, we believe that the Zap team is well equipped to make this business successful and profitable. Simple, easy, Zap.
I don't know about you, but that presentation made me feel so young, let me tell you. Investors.
Right there with you.
Let me start off by at least qualifying some of this a bit, that I don't use any of those social media platforms, and so email and phone is probably the closest. So I'm not sure I appreciate the problem you're solving. Can you discuss that a little bit more? Like, what is that problem you're solving?
So to put things in your perspective, when Anthony and I met when we first came to college, a lot of the things that we have in common now, we probably wouldn't have realized if it weren't for social media. A lot of the things we realize now, I only asked for his Instagram maybe the 10th or 15th time I met him, or maybe on Snapchat the next month after. I wish I could have had that process simplified into one scan of a QR code, because I would be able to realize and unlock the potential of our relationship, as well as save me a lot of time.
Also, with our app, you're able to add someone on more than one platform, which typically you can't do with any other app. So we solve that
But
problem.
isn't that a natural progression of how relationships develop, as opposed to as soon as you meet somebody and then you link them in your entire life? If that represents your entire life right now?
Or you could have talked to him. You could have asked him. Oh!
No one talks anymore. Come on.
Well, as we said, the process of asking someone on social media could be awkward at times for whatever reason it may be. That's behavioral. I'm not sure. It's different all around, but I think it genuinely is a problem, as sometimes people's usernames aren't even their password, aren't even their names on social media, so that could be tough as well.
So, do you think that how much thought on the demographics wise is this an age-based problem you're solving? So, meaning after you enter the professional world and so forth, people are much more guarded with some of their social pieces, as well as some of their personal aspects of life and family and so forth outside of. Was this considered in your business plan?
Yeah, definitely. At first, we definitely are targeting millennials, as they are the greatest users of social media. But in the future, we do plan to implement sort of a Zap business platform. where people who want to sync on business can have that strictly Zap QR code tailored to their business needs. So example, if you and I want to connect on LinkedIn, or I want to see your V card and what your role is, we can do that. But that's along in the future. The initial issue that we plan to solve is relating to millennials and how they connect on social media to make the process quicker, less awkward, and easier. Yeah.
Because we're all in a rush at this age.
To what?
Just getting places.
What are you rushing to?
My mic's working, but I'll talk
Yeah,
very loudly.
we can hear you.
Okay, great. What have you done? It sounds like I'm gonna Zap and you're gonna take my data and you're gonna sell it to everybody. So I am very worried about privacy and security. What have you done related to getting advice on privacy and security?
So we've talked to our mentor, Matt Powers, who has built many apps in the past, and it really is more features built into your Zap profile, so you can only really share what you want to share. If you and I Zap, you don't have to share any of the social media that you don't want with me, and the only way for me to get your social media would be through that QR code scan originally. So you are protected more than you know when using Zap.
So if I'm the government, and you have all of the social media platforms connected, you would be a target-rich environment, kind of like the Apple iPhone is now that the FBI can get into it. So would that make your potential customers more hesitant to use your product?
I think there's definitely ways around it, like definitely social media and technology security has been a rising topic in the general realm of even mergers and acquisitions of numerous cloud security firms that have been acquired. So we could do the same thing if we wanted to really, we found that was an issue, I'm sure there was a firm that can tailor to that interest of protecting our users and how they feel. Yeah.
So could you just expand on 90 million users up there by 2020? How do you get to, if you got 90 million users by 2020, then you're in fabulous shape, obviously. But how are you getting to that number?
I think it's really about us having a really structured marketing program to really tailor to all the people who are using social media. So definitely we plan to go, school to school, and the population at those schools will be in the millions, and eventually in 2020 we plan to go international, as people all over the world do use social media.
Yeah, I mean, the marketing strategy would be a huge part of that idea.
Quick question, guys. I'm going to have to lean over to this mic. Does your business plan require you to have any coordination or cooperation with the app providers, like a Facebook or be it a LinkedIn? I mean, do they have to have any involvement? And then as a follow-up question, suppose we Zap, but I don't want you to see something. How do I unzap? How do I get you out of a certain portion of what I've done? Suppose by accident, I thought it was gonna be a different relationship, we're friends, now all of a sudden you're working at my company. And now, you know what, I don't want you seeing my Facebook. Okay. How do I undo what I've done?
Well, so essentially the Zap does not directly enter the social media realm. Once you Zap, it's out of our control. So if you and I Zap and we want to Zap on Facebook and Instagram, all that Zap would send that request directly to your Facebook and send that follow request directly to your Instagram. So you could just easily go into the Instagram or Facebook platform.
So is there an API though for coordinating with them? I mean, and do you have to do that on multiple scales, or is it one that you've just created that does in all cases that allows for that integration? I mean, you've got to be passing username and information back and forth. I mean, how do you get that buy-in from the other companies, or is that needed?
I think that has to go with like the construction of the app. When we did talk to a developer, they did say that there have to be a mainframe built behind it, sort of a bridge in the technological sense to create that transfer of username. So you're right, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think, investors? You want to pursue this?
I mean, my last, maybe a comment on valuation. Your valuation is obviously higher than everybody else that came up here today. Why?
We think the cost that it's going to really take to build this app is going to be a lot, as we did get a quote from CometaWorks of a substantial amount. So I think that our valuation is pretty high. There's a lot of things that going into making this business successful. As we are pitching a tough model, our revenues are based off user growth, and to get these users, our marketing expenses and product development expenses will be quite high. So to answer your question, we are tailoring to a huge market, which is why I think our valuation is higher than the rest of people who presented today.
Your valuation is higher, or your ask is higher?
Both. Yeah, I guess both.
How would you value your company today? Based on what did you think your company was worth a few $1 million?
We did actually make a DCF model to try and figure out what we would be worth today, and the number came around to I think 3-point-something million. I don't have the model in front of me right now. No. Yeah.
On zero revenues today.
Yeah, I mean, we forecasted them based on users in 2017.
Personally, my view is a couple of things. One, I think it's pretty rich valuation. There's a lot of assumptions in it. Clearly, you can get to valuation if you believe you can execute on and get 90 million users in the next 4 years. I'm not sure if you looked at any of the projections of how long it took LinkedIn to get 90 million users, or some of the other social platforms. I know they are pretty viral after a while and can take off quite exponentially. But for me, this is outside my comfort zone in seeing the real value. I know there's been others that have tried and attempted this and have been unsuccessful, including, I think Google.
Google tried this and was unsuccessful.
And so oftentimes I'll use a screening criteria for me. If Google's tried it and failed, it doesn't mean it won't necessarily work, but it's a good indication that you got to really bring something unique and different here. And again, for me, a QR code to do this, I'm not sure that's that unique and different for me personally. So
I would agree. I think for that reason, I think I'd be out, because I just don't see how you're going to get to the volume that you need to get to, especially in 3 years.
All right. Do we have any interest by the investors? All right. Well, Zap, nothing here today, but this is only 6 people. There could be some others who are beyond these 6 people.
To one of the other comments, I'm outside it's outside my wheelhouse. It's you may be dead on correct about what you're doing. It's just something that I have an email and a phone number. That's it. I mean, my kids make fun of me all the time. That's all I have. That's all I need. So to me, I don't see it. So it's not. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I don't want you guys walking away being disheartened. It just didn't connect with me.
Should an entrepreneur take no for an answer?
Never.
No. The guy earlier said making 100 phone calls a day. I love that. That's 200 calls a day is what you need to be doing.
Yeah, Michael, did you want to?
It isn't in my wheelhouse. I do belong to maybe 5 or 6 social media platforms, but I don't have time to go to all of them. So I feel the biggest issue is the aging out, right? So when you age out, and you do have a solution for it, but it's way too early for me to even offer anything. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And now it's heading off to the lobby. All right, and let's find out from you on text to vote. This is our final one of these, and we'll do the audience favorite. How many social media accounts do you have? A, 0, B, 1 to 2, C, 3 to 4, and D, 5 plus. So how many social media accounts do you have? 0, 1 to 2, 3 to 4, or 5 plus? Oh, I can't keep track of mine. There's so many that I just don't know how many there are. While they make their way to the lobby, I'd like to thank our bronze sponsors tonight: Arcaspicio, Bankwell, Carter Morrison Matthias, Fairfield County Bank Insurance Services, David Zawenda McIntosh, R. Patrick Murrow, Sita and Christopher Stevens, Way Up, and Wells Fargo Advisors, the Hofstetter Barron Group. All right. We have our final interview, I believe. Oh, let's see how the numbers are going. Wow, really? 5 or more out there? So there's a lot of social media going on out there. All right, the lobby is ready. Let's go. Alex and Sarah.
Hey guys, we're here with Mario Cortera and the Zap team. You guys, what's next for Zap?
I'd say we're still going to go for it and see where it takes us.
I think it's definitely improving our business model, and I guess reaching out to, although these investors are great and brilliant in their own light, I feel that we can reach out to different investors in the space that we wish to raise capital. Yeah.
So other than these investors that are present here tonight, who else might you be able to reach out to that may connect with the millennial point of view for Zap a little more deeply?
In terms of the investing standpoint?
Like where to go from here?
Well, obviously there's numerous venture capitalist firms which do target social media startups, so I'd say that could be a start, and there's many private investors listed all over the web, which could be an invaluable asset to us moving forward from here.
Mariano, what advice would you give the rest of the team to move forward with Zap and keep their head up and find some more investors?
Yeah, sure. And, I really value the feedback that the investors gave. I think that it's anytime you can get feedback on any sort of startup, that's definitely valuable. I think they brought up some good points. And I think that, these guys have shown that they work hard. They'll continue to work hard. And they've shown the resolve definitely to go forth and really just put forth their best effort and grind. And, that's what it takes. And, things like this happen, but, that's just the way of life. And, I think these guys are going to be fine.
Good job tonight, guys, and we wish you the best luck in the future. Back to you, Dean Gibson.
Thank you very much. And now this is your time as the audience. There's $1,000 on the line for the team that wins the audience favorite award. So text to vote, which was your favorite startup team? Which was your favorite startup team? A, draft sales, and these are in order of the program. B, FavorWire. C, Thriveo. D, ReadyMed or MetaSpence. And E, Zap. All right. Draft sales, FavorWire, Thriveo, ReadyMed, or Zap. All right. Now we are going to be waiting in eager anticipation for that final vote. But while we do that, I want to do a few thank yous first of all. I want to thank our Dolan School of Business Advisory Board and especially Hugh Davis, who has been very involved in developing this competition, making it bigger and better. I want to thank all of our sponsors, and I've talked about them earlier. Thank you so much. That's what makes this competition. I also want to thank Casey Timoney and Bridget Dalen and Dan Dunn and the rest of the crew for our beautiful set. Can I have a round of applause for the set? Right? And finally, I want to thank, or maybe it might not be finally, but I want to thank Chris Huntley, our program director, and Patricia Pavarnik, our program coordinator. These guys, I mean, I come up and do the game show thing, but they set it up. They are fantastic. They made this whole competition happen. And it really takes a lot of us. We had about 100 students participate in this competition since September. We had about 100 advisors and mentors to help them. So this is a terrific way of connecting our bright students with those wonderful advisors and mentors. If you served as an advisor, mentor, connected, raise your hand out there. Yeah, thank you very much. More round of applause for that. All right, I have a couple more orders of business. Number one, we've been making a bunch of students wait until tonight, and those are the winners of the elevator pitch contest. So we're giving away $2,500 to this crowd, but we made them wait since November, okay? So just bear with me. So these students presented pitches for alumni Patrick Morrow's DO to Go startup. And I think this is an idea we can all get behind. It helps people to smell better by providing quick portable deodorant. That's DO to Go. All right, right? It's fantastic. So, all right, so I'm going to present the winners for the elevator pitch competition. Patricia Pavarnik, are you coming out here with those winners? All right, so in third place, the third place winners are Jason Abate, Thomas Casali, who you saw earlier, Sarah Hallahan, and Maeve Ellen Moyes. Those are the third place winners. All right. Second place winners were John Bauer. I think we saw him earlier. Jason Wurtzel and Catherine Chambers, second place winners. Nice work. All right. And the first place winners for the elevator pitch competition way back in November, Michael Kowalski and Brianna Engelke. Are you here? You may or may not be here. All right, then we get to keep their money. All right, we also have a, that's not true, really. We'll get it to them. Oh, there they are now. Thank you. Congratulations. All right, the DO to go. Elevator pitch winners. Okay. All right, you ready? All right. We have a couple more. Yes. All right. So, thank you. So we want to look at who, during the qualifiers for each criteria, we're giving a small award to the teams, and many of them you've seen before. So we're going to get a small cash prize to the teams for the best areas of those criteria. And they also walk away with Bob Dorff's terrific book, The Startup Owner's Manual. And Bob, are you still out in the audience? All right, there's Bob. Thank you for the books. This is really the Bible of entrepreneurship, the top-selling entrepreneurship book. All right, and the winners are the best value proposition and the best marketing plan went to Draft Sales. Value proposition and marketing plan. Yeah, why don't you stay here? That's good. We want to look at you. You're younger than the rest of us. All right. The best organizational plan went to FavorWire. The best organizational plan. Nice work. The best prepared team went to Thrivio. Best prepared team went to Thrivio. Very good. The best social value went to ReadyMed. Best social value, ReadyMed. We're going to get about 100 people up on stage here. This is good. Congratulations, guys. The best R&D project went to Soundwave Solutions, who you have not heard from, but Soundwave Solutions. Good job, Soundwave. And the high potential newcomer went to Mapit, or M-Appit. Is she here tonight? Okay, all right. High potential newcomer. He's coming now. Come on down. All right. Congratulations. Nice work. All right, one more round of applause for our qualifiers. Thank you. All right, you may now trundle on back. Thank you very much. We are also awarding $1,000. Wait, do you know the information on this one? To the winning student club? Oh, that's right. So we are awarding $1,000 to the student club who turned out the most people here tonight. The top three are, please stand as I call you. So Stags TV. Let's see, we have a couple club. All right. They're in the, oh, I see. I hear over my headphone that the rest of them are in the truck, as it turns out. They're in the parking lot. All right, Stags TV, plus a couple other people in the parking lot. The marketing club. Marketing club. All right, they're clapping anyway. And Wounded Warriors. Wounded Warriors. All right, thank you. And the winner is? Stags TV actually won. All right, Stags TV. Good job. I take it we counted the people in the truck for that one. All right, that's great. Okay, they are. We're getting a lot of thank yous in our ears. All right, are we ready? We are going to display the final $1,000 award to the audience crowd favorite. Are we ready to display that? Let's do it. I don't remember what order. Oh, it looks like Zap actually was the audience favorite. Wow, diss the judges apparently. All right. Thrivio came in second with 25%, 39% for Zap. All right. And the best idea is to bring friends with you when you're in the audience. Did you connect with them by social media and say, vote for me? You did, didn't you? I think that's exactly what happened. All right, that is the end of the showcase for this year. I want a round of applause for our investors. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us tonight, and please come back next year. We'll see you then. Thank you.